PMIs in China, pretty dreadful, really. What's your take on that?
Yeah, well, that's not really a surprise. I mean, the PMIs have been on a downward trajectory for quite some time, and we have seen some warnings from Chinese officials that we can expect lower average growth over the next few years. So I don't think it's really a surprise. I think what we're really looking to see now is any clarity as to whether or not Chinese officials will take steps to try and maybe address that decline and maybe stimulate the economy. But their room for manoeuvre is a little bit limited given the problems in their banking sector.
Well, that's China. Today we've got Eurozone PMIs, and we've just had France, the manufacturing and services PMIs rising beyond expectation. Still below 50 though, but still welcome good news, surely.
Absolutely, yeah, they're going in the right direction. I mean, Moscovici went on French radio yesterday to announce that the French recession was over and that the French economy had returned to growth in Q2. I'm a little bit sceptical about that because if you actually look at the average PMI readings for both manufacturing and services PMIs for France over the past 7 months, they've been low to mid-40s. So I think he may be being a little bit premature there. Having said that, this is the same country where Francois Hollande said the euro crisis was over. So, you know, take that with a pinch of salt if you like.
OK, and staying with the Eurozone very quickly, we've got news overnight last night that Germany will delay signing off on the next tranche of aid for Greece until next week, just to ensure all the conditions are met. But this is something that's going to go ahead, right? Oh,
yeah, I mean, this is just political theatre. 17 of the prior actions have been completed. They've got to look at another 5, 3 billion euros worth of funding that needs to basically be funneled to Greece to meet some bond redemptions. But they're not really going to want to jeopardise Angela Merkel's re-election or potential re-election, I should say, jumping the gun a bit there, on September the 22nd, so I think that will go through. OK, on to earnings. As I said, we've got a raft out today, and there's two that's caught your eye. Arm Holdings, done pretty well, and EasyJet also doing pretty well. Yeah, Arm Holdings. I mean, we saw Apple's earnings last night and they actually surprised to the upside. Obviously, those expectations were managed downwards, but iPhone sales beat expectations, and Arm Holdings is feeling the benefits from that. Also, its new technologies, smart TVs, remote thermostats and what have you, that's a real growing market for Arm. Revenue's up 36%. So, you know, we should see a fairly positive start there here. In early trading. As for EasyJet, again, same again. We've seen a very good performance from EasyJet since they entered the FTSE 100 in March. The shares are up over 35%. We did see a little bit of a drop yesterday on a fairly sort of bearish note from HSBC, suggesting that the recent hot weather here in the UK would somehow hit their seaside or beach routes, if you like. I think that's unlikely. Earnings are going in the right direction. Passenger numbers are up. Profits are up. So, you know, I think as far as EasyJet concerned, all good as well.
OK, just to finish up, as I mentioned at the top there, UK Business Secretary Vince Cable in the news again, front page of the FT. It's not often you hear Bank of England and Taliban in the same sentence.
No, indeed. I think Mr. Cable needs to maybe have a cup of coffee or something. I mean, this is one of the problems when you've got the Bank of England in charge of financial stability. Sometimes, you know, you have a little bit of crossover. We want to get away from irresponsible lending. So the Bank of England, quite rightly, is keeping an eye on capital buffers. And I'd much rather they did that than embark on irresponsible lending schemes like, you know, right to buy, because I certainly think that's something that could be a bubble in the making.